What's up, guys? This is Now Featuring Podcast. Today we have a guest, Michael Moffitt, the only.
Hello.
Moff Boss.
So, Michael Moffitt is my roommate and a recent friend of Kyle's. But, Michael, you do a lot of music.
Yeah.
And you're in a band called Honorable Mention.
Right.
What was that song that just played?
That song was a new one we're working on. It's called Quiet Conversations, and it's one of the first singles off our new album. Will be our third, and it was pretty exciting about that is we got some radio play on it this summer.
Hell
pretty
yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
That's dope. Where at?
Where was the radio play?
Yeah.
It was in Dallas Fort Worth. It was a radio station, and yeah, we actually. It was a really lucky break. We knew the girl that was DJing that day, and we just kind of asked her like if she was able to play local music, and we kind of started up a dialogue that way, and that was a really cool experience to be able to hear yourself.
Have you ever thought about doing it here?
Yeah, I would love to. I need to. I don't know who all's involved.
That's true. I don't know how all that works. I know there's a lot of radio stations out here that do like on a Sunday night.
Yeah,
it's just all local
talent.
talent.
Yeah.
They do that in Tulsa too. It's like a pretty common thing.
Yeah, I definitely want to find more about the music scene here. Like,
yeah.
I feel like, especially lately, the more people I meet, and I feel like there's more, there should be more of an effort to be based in Norman than to be based in Dallas, just because so many of our friends are out at school or doing their thing. Like, so yeah.
I feel that.
I don't know, and I feel like the Norman scene is very particular almost. It's kind of weird. It's not huge. There's certainly a music scene in Norman.
Yeah, local bands are very big out here.
Right,
oh,
but
sweet.
like I said, it's very particular. It doesn't reach a broad audience.
Yeah.
And I think that's important if you're going to build a music community.
Exactly.
That you need to have outreach too.
Yeah.
And we need to get in touch, or you need to get in touch with the deli here on Campus Corner.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard. Yeah.
Bands play every night, so it's it's constant. If you're good enough, you can get a house residence. There's this band that plays on Sunday, every Sunday.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Well, yeah, we've been talking to all the guys I play with about trying to, spend a weekend here, spend a weekend there, and just get because we don't all go to the same school. The drummer and I both go here, but our other guitarist, he goes to Tech in Lubbock, and so that can be really inconducive to practicing. But we're trying to really push out and hey, weekend here, we're all gonna come meet here and we're gonna practice it and maybe have a show at the deli or something at the end of the weekend or so build up to something would be really cool, and then you could get everyone involved here. Just something I haven't been able to do in the past.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you got the radio play, you just went up there to the radio station and asked, or contacted them social media?
No, well, yeah, like I was saying, I knew the girl that was DJing and she said that she'd be in all week, and that was and so that was over social media that I saw that, and so I asked her if she was able to play local music. And she said, yeah. And so I started talking to her about it. And I got to thinking, and I was thinking, I can't play her something old, because we were in the middle of doing a new album. I want to give her something new, something that kind of shows her how we've progressed over time. And since we're still in the midst of recording that new album, none of the tracks were done. So I was thinking, I need to just, I think I saw her talking about DJing on a Tuesday, and then she said she'd be DJing up until Friday, and so I just, as fast as I could, I hit the ground running with an idea I had, which was just the guitar part and the little intro on the guitar, and I just, I took it and have you ever had a thing like that where it's all about the time? You could spend weeks and weeks and just, I don't know how to finish this, this song, this paper, whatever, and all of a sudden you just knock it all out in 10 minutes.
And you're like, what the fuck?
It's just, it just depends on the day, I guess, depends on how you're feeling.
Right.
But yeah, so I just took that idea and just all of a sudden, an idea I had for months and just never done anything with. Just turned it into the whole song. That week, I was up until 3 or 4 or 5 every day, just trying to get this to her before Friday, and the whole time she's asking like, hey, like, can you send me the track? It's like, yeah, give me just a second, like, just trying to do as much as I could in this tiny amount of time. Yeah, trying to do as much as I could in just this tiny amount of time, and I finally, like, I sent it to her the day before. She was like, great, sounds good, everything. It just blew my mind, the blind amount of trust she had. Like,
she was like, yeah, sure, whatever.
She was just like, yeah, just send it to me when you can. Like, yeah, that was really cool. That was a really cool challenge, though. I've never worked that way on such a strict deadline.
Right.
Yeah.
That's some dedication, though, to get some kind of play. Did you receive, like, any more, I guess, growth, music, like, fan-wise, of people who knew what you were doing? Or?
Well, see, I definitely want to, it's a person I know, and she's only been working at the station more and more. So I'm trying to, as we kind of finish tracks and stuff, we're kind of in the phases of wrapping it up lately.
Right.
I'm really thinking that, like, I can, for sure with her, get into contact and say, like, hey, next time you're DJing, I have something new, like, could you play it? That'd be awesome. But also just, it really opened me up. I guess when I was younger, growing up, that seemed like such an unachievable thing, was like being played on the radio.
True. Yeah.
Like, oh, that's just what the famous people do.
Exactly.
But it's totally possible.
So yeah, so that was a really, like, surreal thing to happen, and now it seems so much more approachable. I feel like I could talk to. I'd have to do some research. I don't know who runs the station, but see who runs the station here and kind of get in contact and maybe start something up, or even just stations, not school stations, just anyone in the area.
Yeah.
Try and start something up. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know there's like 98.9 here, and there's like 102.7, I think.
Yeah, they would. I could see them playing.
Yeah,
like that style of music,
like modern music.
Yeah, they're not much of like a certain genre anymore.
Yeah,
right.
That's sweet. Yeah, we're trying to, and this is something I was talking to Jeremiah about, just talking about trying to, like, experiment more and, like, use sounds and stuff you wouldn't usually use.
There's been some, like, strange stuff that we've been putting in there.
Yeah, well, and I feel like that's another thing I'm really excited for about this album, is I feel like, we did kind of start a little bit to get out of that comfort zone, and I feel like there's only more to play with there. Just keep growing. Yeah.
So, like, what influenced you, like, the most, I guess, like, growing up to want you, like, to make you want to make that kind of music? Like,
okay.
What are your influences? Music? Yeah.
When I was really young, like, when I first started liking music, it was like the Weezer and Green Day, Blink-182 at the time. Oh, geez, because that's when pop punk was, like, really blowing up, and there was still a really big rock scene. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember I had this. There was a movie I watched all the time that had All the Small Things in it by Blink-182, and, like, that got, like, that movie that I, like, loved so much and was always watching. I was always telling my mom, like, oh, this song. Mm. But really, what influenced me the most was my parents. They have a really cool taste in music. They really, everything I listen to is because of, the stuff they listened to when I was growing up, which was a lot of, Green Day was a band they followed, and Weezer and Cake.
Cake, yeah.
Yeah. Big New Politics is a band she showed me.
Shit.
Yeah. Cage the Elephant, I'm a big fan of. I feel like the ones that really shine through the most in what I write, even though I love listening to everything, and I feel like Weezer is there. I feel like there's a lot of Cage the Elephant there, with, like, instruments and just vibe, especially on the newer stuff. I feel like there's some New Politics there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are probably some of the bigger ones. Group Love, I feel like we have a little bit of a sound at times.
Right.
One of the songs on our second album is called I Wouldn't Care, and it's a little more acoustic, and it's got kind of, like, those gang vocals like they have. Everyone's just yelling, having a good time.
Hell yeah.
So that was the song that got compared to Group Love a lot. Yeah, so those were definitely some of and those also were big influences too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks.
Yeah,
man.
those are some really like. When I asked you that, I thought you were gonna say like a bunch of bands that I didn't know, so I was like, oh, okay.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like, no, I know every single one of those.
Oh, hell
bands.
yeah.
Like so Kyle and I yesterday were talking about like all this music that we listened to like in our
Growing up,
yeah, and it was a lot of similar stuff.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, it
we
was.
listened to like everywhere from like harder rock to like all this alternative
Yeah,
stuff
wait.
in between.
We should go through like our music playlist and like just see the artists we all know.
Yeah, that's what we did last night.
Yeah,
Like
that's what
yeah,
we did.
here wait, will be a better way for me to tell you influences. How did I forget this, dude? So okay, when I was little, it was like exclusively. It was Weezer, Green Day, like Blink-182, Avril Lavigne, dude.
Yes.
And then when I got into like middle school, probably like 6th or 7th grade, I just like had the hugest Beatles kick ever.
Yeah.
Like they like changed like my world, dude. And so I was just listening to them, straight for like nothing but them for a couple of years. And then I came back to a little more of just the more traditional rock stuff. But yeah, the Beatles, a huge one.
Yeah.
Black Keys,
Oh shit.
Oh, yeah.
Cake. Have you ever listened to the Fratellis? No. Okay, they're pretty cool. I think you'd like them. Then we got Green Day and Group Love. White Stripes.
Dude, Jack White is fucking incredible.
Yeah, he's
We
awesome.
listened to like Lazaretto last night. That's just
Oh
such
yeah,
a
that is
unique
such
song,
a
dude.
that's such a
It's
good
so
song.
cool.
He's so cool, dude. I need to listen to him more. What a cool guy. He's making some cool rock tunes.
I know, he's like still doing shit.
That's a thing that that's like kind of upsetting, dude. It's like the rock scene is kind of just going away.
I know, man.
The alternative scene, whatever you want to call it.
It's just kind of.
It's very
It's
scarce.
fading out.
It's very scarce in Oklahoma, for sure.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because like it's definitely the age of rap for sure.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's so weird to me is because like that's like all because my parents listened to it too, so that's all I was listening.
How it was like it's actually the most listened to genre this year. I think it passed rock.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
see,
it definitely did,
okay, that's
for
the thing that blows my mind, and this is something we were all talking about earlier, which is that Post Malone is higher on the world charts than Ed Sheeran, dude.
That's
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
And like I've never I'm into Ed Sheeran. Like I'm not I don't really follow him, but I always like what I hear or whatever. And I just always thought that he was like a huge pop culture guy.
Yeah.
That just was insane.
Like everybody knows who Ed Sheeran is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody.
But even
Yeah.
more people listen to Post Malone.
That's
dude.
true.
Which is crazy.
That's
'cause you don't
crazy.
think
He
that's
was
a
like,
household name,
last time I
but
checked, he was like number 10 on the world charts.
That
What
is
the-
insane.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That is insane.
Jeez.
That's just a dude from Grapevine High School, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's insane.
How someone can just move after high school, just be like, yeah, I want to move to California,
Mm-hmm.
and then just fucking all of a sudden becomes a famous rapper.
Exactly.
Just all of a sudden.
I think he got like his big break was with I don't know how he managed this, but he got on a tour with Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was just
Yeah.
instant
Mhm.
exposure.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Just like the fact that can happen so quickly to someone and so suddenly, it just shows that like fame is super like it's just random.
It can happen to literally anybody.
Anyone.
I mean, it might happen to
And-
y'all in the next year or so.
You never know.
You never
Tomorrow
know.
for
Yeah.
some strange
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day. Just how like, no matter how old songs are, like they can always just be like pick up. Like albums are usually like a year old when like a popular song gets on the radio.
Yeah.
Like depending on what kind of artist it is or like genre or something.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And it's also just so much about who you know, like to get those contacts.
It's
So you got a
true.
music
It's a
plug
network.
for
Yeah.
sure. You got a music
Definitely.
plug.
Dude, but that's why like trying to get into the music community in Norman, I think is such a good idea because then you can start networking at least in here and expand that. Like after college, if
Exactly,
you move
yeah.
somewhere, yeah, you can have multiple connections everywhere you go. That's like,
yeah, which would be...
It's like that meme.
That's a good thing to have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, geez, that's what's crazy with Post. And I mean, this is we were talking about this earlier too, and which is that I used to play with him in high school.
Yeah.
And it was so different than the stuff he does now.
Yeah.
It's like, and I still have all the recordings too. It's like an indie alt rock project. It's like the closest thing I can describe it to. It's like Group Love meets the Killers.
Right.
Oh.
There is one video of him like going around like surfacing of like his older stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember what it is,
Oh.
but like I heard about it recently, and it's like resurfacing, and people are like, he plays this kind of music? Like,
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. Because like, he's mostly into like rock and alternative and country stuff,
Yeah.
but he's a rapper.
I know. That's why it was such the weirdest thing when he told us, because I had been playing with him for like a year and a half, and it was like actually picking up like, I guess that it was just him. He was just like, something about him really drew people in, because that project was also picking up traction, and Sony Records, their record label division, was looking at this, talking to Post, and that's why it was so crazy that he was just like, hey guys, like, I'm leaving, I'm going to California, gonna live in my friend's mansion that he has. I'm gonna make Minecraft videos for money. And I'm just like, what? This was so out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Do you go like Sky Does Minecraft or something? I think is who they roomed with. Because back in the day, I remember Sky Does Minecraft had videos with Austin Post.
Really?
Then that was, yeah.
That's never a thing I followed, but I'll never forget that. That was such a weird thing for him to say at that time.
Yeah.
And then he also told us, like, and we were also, as a joke, we were like, yo, like, what's your name gonna be? Like, this is never gonna work,
right.
whatever.
Yeah.
So what are you calling yourself? He was like, Post Malone, and we thought it was the dumbest thing we had ever heard. I'm like, that's so
Holy
stupid, that's
shit.
not your name, like, you're Austin.
Yeah.
And then everywhere I go, I'm driving and I hear the person next to me listening to it, or like, walking through campus and people are listening to it.
Yeah.
That's just so weird that I know him and he's like a household name at this point.
That is crazy. That is so crazy.
Yeah, that's like a lot of what we would play too, is like Group Love and Beatles. Like, he really liked country stuff. Like, those songs aren't country, but that's a lot of what he listened to, is more folk and country.
Well, have you guys listened to Feelin' Whitney off the Stoney album? It's the very last track, guys. Oh, God.
That's pretty bad, is that like people here will ask me like, oh, you knew him? They'll ask for that story, but I actually haven't listened to a ton of his music. And I feel like I'd like it, because he does kind of have like the chords and stuff under it instead of just beat.
When you get a chance, listen to Feelin' Whitney. It's the last song on the Stoney album, and it's just him and the acoustic guitar.
Oh, really?
There's some violins in the background, and he's singing. It's not rap.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool.
It's really chill, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to listen to that later.
Well, I think we can call it at that.
Moffitt, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Real. I've never heard your story about when you knew Post, so that was really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, be sure to listen to Honorable Mention, and...
Yeah, where can they find you? Do you have any social media for them?
So, at Twitter, on capital HM, the band. On Instagram, at Honorable Mention Band. And then on iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud.
Sweet.
New album coming soon.
Is there a name for it yet? Or
Not yet.
Okay, cool.
We have an album art which I can give you guys.
Sweet.
But
I'm down for that. And if you're watching us on YouTube, we'll have links in the description for all of this.
Thanks, man.
All right. Well, thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
See you guys.